I know when I play my video games, I want something that looks visually pleasing, has a great story, and gameplay that keeps you coming back for more. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a Pixar movie made into a video game. When I first started this game, I had no idea what I was in for. The storytelling on this game grabs you the moment you pop this game into your PS5. You start off as the duo getting an award ceremony for their heroics throughout many of their adventures. Note, this is an introduction to the game, shows you parts of the older games, which brings you up to speed. I've played most of the Ratchet and Clank games, so knowing all their feats and seeing many little details of them was just amazing. But that was ruined by their old friend Dr. Nefarious, who has been a pain in their side for years. The evil villain gets his hands on the Dimensionator, the tool that was made by Clank to allow Ratchet to be able to travel through other dimensions to meet up with his people. However, once the device is shattered, all the dimensions begin to shift into each other, splitting Ratchet and Clank apart. This is how we meet our new hero in this story, named Rivet, who is a Lombax like Ratchet. Now their adventure begins, with both of them having different directions that leads them back together. What an amazing twist for a story. The visuals in this game really showcase the power of the PS5. As we all know, there are only 6 PS5 games out. But out of all of them, this has to be hands down one of the best Sony has to offer when it comes down to their games. There are 3 different modes in this game. I'll start off with one of the modes. Fidelity runs at 30 frames per second but has graphical features like ray tracing, enhanced lighting, and enhanced scene density. Performance runs at 60 frames per second and adjusts the lighting and scene density in order to achieve it. This mode also doesn't have ray tracing, which means some reflective surfaces look flatter than in fidelity mode. Performance RT is a combination of fidelity and performance, sacrificing resolution in favor of ray tracing. It has the same comparisons as performance in terms of lighting and scene density, but presents a slightly blurry image in favor of retaining the reflective surfaces as fidelity. While the image quality does take a notable hit, it still looks fairly clean depending on how far away you sit from the screen. I chose Performance RT. I think it's the best setting, but I'm sure you all will make your own choices when it comes to performance as I did. And for me, I sit a lot farther back from my TV, so for me it works out good that way in my opinion. Now let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay is something that's very refreshing. A lot of things have been added to the game, from the Rift mechanic to the dash and boost boot mechanic. The game allows you to make many choices when it comes to combat, like from throwing your Ratchet to switching guns on the fly to doing combos when in combat. There are many different returning guns in this game, and also new guns to the series as well. So hardcore fans will recognize certain guns. As for new fans, these guns will just knock you off your socks just all around in general, guys. So you got quite a treat waiting for you when you play this game. I knew when I started playing this game there was going to be a chance that I'm going to encounter many of different weapons from the past. So I definitely was excited to get my hands on these old weapons, because I love certain weapons in the game, from using the sniper rifle, from using the rhino weapon that you get later in the game by putting all the specifications together to unlock it. And I just thought that that was very mind-blowing to get my hands on that old type of weapon. Now for the new viewers, I'm pretty sure when it comes down to these weapons that you're not going to be familiar with any of these weapons, but that's going to spark your interest to know more history when it comes down to the weapons of Ratchet and Clank if you look some of this stuff up on our Ratchet and Clank Pedia site. The only problem you may have with this game is the low enemy types, which Scarlet Nexus has in the easy playthrough, so you might want to bump up the game so you can get a more of a challenge experience when it comes down to this game. And another drawback to this game as well is Rivet. There is no distinction between Rivet and Ratchet. They pretty much use the same weapons, which I thought was kind of lazy when it came down to a design spec. You would think that she has this arm mechanic. You would think that she would have arm type weaponry, but no, they share most of the same weapons that each ever have, which is a letdown. There could have been something different that she would have had to offer to the table. But when it comes to solid gameplay, Ratchet & Clank has you covered from the beginning to the end. I give this game a 9 out of 10. This is a must-buy game even if you're not a Ratchet & Clank fan. For more great reviews, you're at the right place, Game Fiends.